pretty nice. A4 is a little bit bigger than the US letter standard size, which is annoying.
I've got to figure out, because the other weird thing the audio here does is like you can on OBS you can like mute your mics. Weird thing the audio here does is like, then you also, if it's only muted but like the actual volume is still up, for some reason they can still hear us on stream. I have no idea why. But it means like you can't just use a hotkey to unmute the mics, or else like people can hear us like when we're in the waiting room. Like that was what I was trying to figure out, and then we ran into this. Either way, hey everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. This is the TGS weekly stream. On this weekly rigmarole, we sit down, we make TTRPG games. If you've been watching us for the last month or so, you know that we are deep in the middle of playtesting for God in a Corpse, which we published just a couple of months ago now. As God in a Corpse nears its like 1000th download, I know we're going to be getting there relatively soon. We are looking at ways to expand this. We're planning for the next coming months. In particular, we're planning for PAX as we get closer to that coming up. And so we're taking just a week-long break from playtesting today to devise a little bit of adventure planning. Corey, I don't know. Were there any notes there that I missed?
No, that's right on. What's our? Sorry, I want to check how many downloads we have. Terramundi Games.
Yeah, I know. I keep forgetting to do it before we go on stream.
Well, Cards on the Table, it slowed down quite a bit at the last week.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, to the point where I just stopped.
Yeah, and I mean, we both knew that was going to happen. Like a lot of those initial streams were because DriveThru was promoting it as a part of Pocket Quest. So we knew that was going to happen. I know we're over 900 right now.
We are over 900. Take a peek. Manage
my hope is in the next couple weeks we're gonna cross 1,000.
Let's run a report on God in a Corpse, and we will start from July 1st to now. So we're at 973.
Oh, hey, we actually have gone up quite a bit in the last week. That's I think about 50 more downloads. I want to say last week we were around 920, 918.
Yeah, it looks like we've gotten about 69 this month so far. So.
Cool.
It's a far cry from 900 in the first month, but still.
Yeah, I mean for sure. But honestly, again, we knew that was gonna slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
I think we've both mentioned several times at this point that even what we've done now is so far beyond our expectations. I'm cool with it. Obviously, I still want to take as much advantage of it as possible. Hence all the play testing and, hence the adventure design. But, beyond that, I'm pretty cool with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, yeah. So what we're doing today is we are doing play testing. Or sorry, not play testing. We're doing adventure design, which is something that Corey and I don't often get to do together. And I guess the first thing we need to figure out here, Corey, is what's the purpose of the adventure we are going to design today? Is this something for the next weekly playtest? Is this something for PAX? Is this something we're going to develop into a book at some point? What's the intended purpose for today?
Sure. Yeah. I think that first and foremost. We want to make this. I mean, I think we are going to try to run this at PAX at least a couple times. So I think first and foremost, this is something we want to be able to run at a con in 3 hours, which also helps us because I think this is something that we should run next week. And we'll probably have about 3 hours.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and maybe if and thinking forward, if we want to release the exploration tables and stuff, that book might be kind of light. If we include an adventure with it, a 3-hour starter adventure, probably not a bad idea.
Yeah, no, 1,000%.
So to answer your question, all three.
Perfect.
This is my 4th banana of the day.
That's a lot of bananas, dog.
Yeah, I eat a lot of banana.
That is a Yigas clan worth of bananas.
They're calorie dense, but damn it, they're worth it.
Yeah, I can't blame you. I actually eat bananas all the fucking time.
I eat regularly 3 bananas a day, which is like
Holy
we rip
shit,
3 bananas.
seriously?
Yeah, man.
I don't eat that many bananas. That's fucking wild, dude. That's a lot of bananas. What's your banana budget? Well, how much do you have to factor into your food money for? What's your banana money a month?
I will go to the store like 2 or 3 times a week to buy banana.
Holy fuck!
I eat like 2 quarts of blueberries a week as well.
Well, that's actually supposed to be really good for you.
Bananas too. They're fantastic for you. Again, calorie rich.
Three bananas a day good for you? Are they that good for you?
Yeah, I say 3, but 2 to 3 is fine.
All right, fair enough.
I eat a lot of fucking fruit and vegetables, my man.
I
beans.
really need to get better about it. I subsist largely on bread. It's not good. I'm a grain boy.
Yeah, I can't fucking do grain most of the time. I can do whole wheat.
So either way,
yeah,
we're designing something then that people are potentially going to see in the future. How much of our story for this adventure do you want to broadcast would be the follow-up question, especially if we're doing this on playtest.
I think it's fun. I don't think any of our playtesters watch our streams, so
that's probably fair.
Yeah, I don't want to let that get in the way of us doing it. I think we need something short, concise. We need something that, obviously, con games are a little bit more on the rails. We have a bit more flexibility because we have, a game with quick character creation. But I do think that we need something that is, just like super manageable and like stock standard. You look over it once, you're like, okay, I know what's going on here, and can run someone through it. So we'll need whatever the thing is. We'll need like an overall cat sheet, a cat sheet for each area. We'll need tips, and we don't have to generate this shit right now. This can be stuff that like we can put in the book after the fact, but like tips on when to draw like exploration cards, tips on like when to give gear, when to like modify or roll encounter die, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But for our purposes, I think we just need to have a basic, like a general conceit, a general overview, and an overall cat sheet for like the whole thing, and then a cat sheet for each individual area that could possibly be on there. And I guess that's like the real question is, do we want to do this as like kind of an open-ended thing, like you're on a big old ship and there's lots of different places where players could go, and you include all those different cat sheets, and with the idea that players will probably go through fucking 3 of these areas, or do we just put in the 3 areas?
So here's the cool thing. I think that we already kind of have this baked into the rules as per the game proper, right? We built these cat sheets, and they are designed to go for individual areas. So really what we should do is we should, if we're doing an official adventure, we should consider an area that is relatively small, that has a few areas, and we should do cat sheets for all of them. And then that still allows for dexploration. I feel like in our playtests, we have really relied on dexploration to fill in a lot of like missing areas and blank spaces. But I think, and honestly, I mean, feel free to come at me for this. Like this is actually more important than just setting up an adventure. Like us putting this out kind of determines a lot of how people are going to see like how you make an adventure in God and a Corpse, right?
Yeah.
When we think about, you know, adventure books in like Dungeons and Dragons, or L5R or Cyberpunk or whatever, they're always done a certain way with a certain amount of detail, right? You're going to get way more in something for Pathfinder than what you get in like Monster of the Week or something like that, because those games are meant to be more open-ended. If we're making this and we are really saying like, hey, nail down the areas and leave the areas vague, then I see this as being much more of like kind of a Monster of the Week type of thing, right? Where you're prepping areas, you're not prepping a story necessarily, but you're prepping kind of the elements of a story. You're prepping the ingredients. You're eating the ingredients of a cake, but not the cake itself.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, like this is. I think like we just need to. I mean, I think our general conceit is fine in the book itself. Like, there's a radio signal, you have to find it, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
We can. I mean, it's putting stakes in our game is a little bit different because the inherent stake of death is like gone. That's not a factor.
Yeah.
And I mean, so you really have to. I don't know. We'll have to get buy-in somewhere. I think as far as exploration and shit goes, I think that's like pretty easy to do. In that, like, we can put like fucking like pop-up video, like they encounter a guy here. Something about this man is Dexploration card.
Sure,
have your players describe what that is, or there's some, or we can even go vaguer, like something in this room requires a character to define. Feel free to let this influence your game outside of the confines of what is defined in this adventure. Yeah. That is the intended effect. So I think like we'll be having to write in shit like that, but first and foremost, I think like this is, I mean, like ancillary, or not even ancillary, we have two things running. This is going to be the way that people encounter adventure design, like with our official published adventure. But that is coming after the fact, right? Like, first and foremost, we are going to be using this for con games.
Yeah.
To physically introduce people to that. So, like, we should design with that directive in mind, play this a couple times, and then with that in mind, see how we can coordinate this in a way that like we can present it as a published adventure to people with smart design ideas for their own adventures.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think that's the way we have to approach it.
Yeah, 1,000%.
All right, cool.
All right. So I guess the first question, I mean, you kind of already asked it, but we should probably, it needs actually a clear answer. Where is this whole thing taking place? You know, we've done so many abandoned research stations. I think that's been like 75% of what we've done in God and the Corpse. Do we want to do that, or is that maybe too big an area? Do we want to try and break it down into something smaller and more manageable for kind of this designed adventure set?
I think it would make sense to put this. I mean, we have to make sure it's not like a terrestrial. So I think there's two ways we can approach this, because it has to include the stars. Is the thing. So like we can put it in like a rec space station, whether that be a research center or maybe like if we wanted to limit the scope of like where you could go, maybe a mining station where things have collapsed. That way you only have so many rooms you can explore.
Yeah.
Or option number two, we could have this take place in a terrestrial location where the end goal is like you need to get to a rocket ship. There is a way to get to space and you have limited time to get there, based off of like, you know, the confines, but the end goal is you go to space. So I think that like those are like would be what I would say. Those would need to be the confines. It either needs to be space is the end goal, or you are in space and need to get out of it.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. Why? Why does it need to be in space?
Because this game is very, very heavily about space. And I think that our first adventure should be about space in that case. Because if we make a game that is about God in a Corpse, that is ostensibly about going through the ruined stars, which we talk about a lot in the game,
Yeah.
and we have this take place in a jungle, that is not going to make a lot of sense, I think, conceptually.
I agree that there are terrestrial settings that don't make sense. Like a jungle would be a weird setting for something like this. But being planet side, I always took the ruined stars more to mean like a destroyed galaxy, but anywhere within that destroyed galaxy, you are in the ruined stars.
I totally agree with that, and I think for like sessions that you are running, absolutely. But I think for an introductory session to the game, we can't have it take place on Earth in Oklahoma, right?
That's
like
fair.
It
It
has to be like,
if we're talking about setting the tone for people's first experience with the game, that's probably fair. Probably should be set in space. All right, then I'm gonna say I'm gonna nix your second suggestion. No terrestrial locations. This is happening somewhere out in space. Don't hate the idea of a mining facility. Can I want to actually circle back though to a playtest that we did a couple of weeks ago. It's an idea that I have not been able to get it out of my mind. That open air prisoner transport going through space. I have thought about that setting for like once a week for the last 2 weeks since we did it.
Yes.
Because that's the most insane sci-fi concept I've ever heard, and it kind of makes me want to use that for something. I don't know how you feel about that. I don't know if you want to just take the open air concept and apply it to a different kind of vessel. But that's the kind of setting that I have in my mind.
I think that open air prison. I mean, I think that concept works. I mean, I think there's got to be areas that aren't open air to like show that it is a prison, right? Like, because like the warden probably wouldn't exist in those open air concepts. I think you could even combine that with the mining facility. Like, if this were on an asteroid, I don't know, it would make sense that a lot of it was open air for like mining capability. I don't know. Yeah, I think that, or just open air prison transport is a fine setting. I don't even think you need to include mining. I think that is fine.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Then I'm gonna set that. So this adventure takes place with the PCs waking up on a derelict prisoner transport ship. Various points on the ship are open air in order to limit prisoner movements and uprisings, resulting in most, if not all, corpses wearing EVA or other space-ready suits. Okay. So are we, let me ask you this. I assume we are playing this, if we're designing this as a con game, one of the things that we've dictated as per the core rules is that first session is always about resolving the signal issue. Do we want to?
Sure, yeah.
We would want to make that the central point here.
Yeah.
So.
And I don't think that like this needs to be explicitly stated, or actually, yeah, we can state this in the general conceit because this general conceit is for us.
Yeah. Exactly.
I think that let's do stock standard shit here. I think it makes the most sense. We don't want to like try to put sneaky tricks on people. Be like, aha, you didn't expect that to happen. We want it to be what you expected to happen. Just so I think that the signal is probably on the bridge.
Okay, I like that. Do you have an idea for what the signal actually is? Is it like an SOS that got, fucked up in terms of frequency and it's bouncing back through the EVA? Is it
I like the idea
automated message? Yeah, go ahead.
I like the idea that it is that it is like that it is garbled. You know that it is calling to you, and it's sort of the thing where the players are thinking, okay, there is something outside of this that we can go to. But then when you get there, it's the ship's automated SOS. But like what would be at the end is like, there are prepped escape pods or something, so that yes, what you thought wasn't there, but now the stars are open to you, kind of thing, right?
Gotcha. Eventually inform the players that
it's just like the fucking corpse of the fucking warden, or like the pilot or the captain. I should be a captain because the the warden wouldn't be the captain. They were the warden. They have a different. Captain still exists, but like slumped over the fucking, slumped over the panel, just like skeleton face in the.
I love the idea that, I like finding neat ways to make players explore different parts of the ship. I actually love the idea that they wake up somewhere very close to the bridge, that they come across the door to the bridge very early on, but that maybe it's like biometrically sealed and like only the warden's, DNA, eyeball, retina scan, whatever can open it.
My only worry there is that like by our game, like player couldn't open it, like.
Yeah, that's
right.
That was gonna be my next question. Is like, I don't know if this is a game where you can even do that.
I mean, we haven't explicitly written things like that, but I suppose that could. I mean, like, this is adventure design. You could have like, this is a door that no matter like what the players like try to open traditionally, they won't be able to get through. But say a player makes like a dermal charge or something and fucking blows it out, right? Like,
well, and that's the thing, especially with the load system, right? They can have literally anything on their person that would be reasonable for a prisoner transport. Which, I mean, I could imagine, I could justify that involving like some really heavy machinery.
Sure.
So I
think for our purposes, we should probably place it further away. I think that if we design this that way, we are going to find that players are going to circumvent us somehow.
Yeah, that's fair.
Which we probably don't want to happen in the con, but hey, that's why we're going to be playtesting it with people as well before the con.
Yeah.
To hopefully circumvent that. But the other thing is, if it's you and I running it, we'll be able to fucking just keep it going.
Well, and honestly, like the bridge being on the other end of the ship from the prisoner hold makes a ton of sense narratively. Anyways, sure. I feel like that works just as well.
Well, let's go over areas. So we have the prisoner transport ship. Let's just call it a transport ship. This is a transport vessel. We'll have to give it a name, but we'll talk about that later. Let's talk about areas we'll need catch sheets for, or areas we want to explore. I think that we have the general population cells. That is like First and foremost, that's an area.
Okay.
We know that the bridge is an area.
Okay.
We
know the warden's
probably
office.
Warden's office for sure.
Yeah.
And I think exterior of the ship would be cool.
Yeah.
Like, because it's this open air concept, I like the idea of like players having to traverse across the exterior of this thing. I think that would be cool.
For sure. Other areas I could see coming into play here would be like some kind of a mess hall. Space travel, I mean, in pretty much any world takes time, so it would make sense that they would need somewhere to eat.
Yeah.
There would be some kind of living quarters for like crew or officers. Let's see.
Let's do. I'm trying to think because I wonder if like thinking. I wonder if they would just dispense food into like into this. It's open air, right? So trying to think how. I think they fucking. I don't think they do get. I don't think the prisoners get a mess hall, anyways. I think that it is like food is loaded into your suit, and then you gotta like drink it from like whatever is there.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Have you finished Andor yet?
No, I know it's.
Have you gotten to the prison stuff? Okay, well I won't talk about it then. But I think it would be like, but that doesn't. Okay, let's. I think you're right on that there would definitely be, but we can also close areas off, say that they are destroyed, wrecked, or like shot off. You know, like this
that.
thing.
Yeah. There are going to be cool because there are going to be some places that I think are just generally not super interesting.
Yeah.
Like mess hall, honestly, would probably be one of them. I'm gonna write it here and then strike through.
Or like, I think the reactor would be cool, but like, why is the ship not function? Well, I guess there has to be some nascent power because there is like some sort of lighting going on.
I actually reactor
might be cool.
Yeah, I think that's actually a really compelling area.
I mean, we probably don't want to go much over that, right? Do we?
Yeah, I would say no. I do think we probably need to come up with. Well, I guess not. I mean, anything that isn't these areas blown up by.
Yeah, conceivably, it's like open hallways of just like rutted rebar, and like
Yeah,
it's rhubarb.
It's rhubarb. So let me ask you this, because this is something that like I don't know exactly what we're gonna do with Drive, with mysteries, whatever. But like area mysteries are a big thing. One of the main ones is going to be, what happened here. So what do you think happened here that like tore the ship apart?
I'm going to open up
because I have some ideas, but
let me open up the book.
No.
I'm going to look at our book. Does anyone watch our stream? No. Okay, cool.
No, God, no. Nobody.
Okay. Mysteries drive the action. God and the corpse. They create the unknown data that represents the impulse for characters to explore the ruined stars. There are generally two types of mysteries. Corpse, the life and habit of the corpse, and area, the world around you. These mysteries are determined by the player and the GM, respectively, during character creation. With the player providing the question, the GM providing the. Okay, so like, let's start with the overall mystery, which is easy, right? Like, is it who or what is the signal calling to us from the bridge?
Yeah, so we know what the signal is. The signal is the SOS.
Yeah.
I am equally interested in why the SOS needed to be sent at all. What happened to the ship? I feel like this is going to be something that players. I know it's something I would be interested in getting answers to.
Sure. Well, let's ask the questions before we make the answers for each area, because we have an area mystery for each area, right?
Correct. I think so, unless the area mystery refers to what I'm talking about here with like the overall.
Yeah. So let's just ask the questions first. So
Okay.
our overall mystery is just like what happened here? Is that it? Like,
yeah, basically, what happened to the ship and everyone on it? Where is the signal coming from, and what is it? There's, any questions that they personally might have about their corpse, but
sure,
that depends
but
on how much we hang on to that.
Okay, so what happened to the ship and everyone in it? So I think, this would be something, because I do want to, I think it would be fun to write out actual clues and stuff throughout these ships. So what happened to the ship and everyone on it? Hold on a second.
Let me pitch a couple ideas that I have for what this could be.
Yeah.
So the first one I have is the birth of Q, which, if you're familiar with Star Trek, Q is like Q.
No, we're not doing Star Trek.
Calm down. Q is a super powerful, interdimensional creature of ridiculous level of intelligence and ability. I'm not suggesting we actually insert Q itself into this game. I know we are not Star Trek, but what I mean is a creature of immense power and intelligence was born maybe inside one of the stars nearby this ship, which caused this huge explosion of matter and energy, which ultimately wrecked the ship. And as a result, weird shit is happening on the ship. Similarly, what I had was a nearby quasar, collapsed, something to that effect, creating a black hole. The ship tried to escape the gravitational pull, losing several sections in the process. But yeah, obviously.
See, I'm more inclined for option number 2, because what that says to me is that this is answering very directly what happened to the ship.
Yeah.
We don't know the larger conceit of why the universe got fucked up from this, but with the first one, we know the larger conceit from why the universe got fucked up from this, right? This creature got born, and that was the cause of all of this, whereas a quasar got fucked up because everything started getting fucked up. I don't have an answer for number 2, but now we know why number 1 happened. So now we want to go into those life, the escape pods and explore, because we have a drive to discover what happened still.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And for the record, feel free to put your own theories out here. These were 2 suggestions that came to mind for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, and we've actually already answered the second one. Okay, cool.
What is a quasar?
I have no idea. It sounded good. I think it's a type of star.
I don't know. Now I gotta figure it out.
Quasar definition.
Active galactic nuclei. Extremely luminous galactic... Oh, that's much bigger than a star.
Yeah, that is very different. It is an active
Yeah,
galactic nucleus?
yeah.
That's a terrifying combination of words.
Luminous galactic cores were it's so galactic cores. That's quite a thing.
Either way, like that's
I think-
something that could end the world, right?
Quite a few of them, even.
Yeah. Several. I have a new fear now.
Oh, don't worry. You don't have to. Here's the thing about things like that. So big that if they happened, you wouldn't even worry about it.
You wouldn't even know.
That's I think I was listening to my brother and me, and they were talking about like I wish that like watching Planet Earth, because I have such high anxiety, that there was like one point when they're like, "Hey, and this thing, don't even worry about this thing. You're never gonna see one of these."
Yeah, I remember having that conversation when I was a kid, where like I was scared to death that the sun was gonna burn out because
Dude, me too.
Yeah, because someone told me that the sun was gonna burn out because eventually it will.
Yeah.
But I thought it was gonna happen in like a couple months or whatever, and they had to explain to me like, no, baby, you'll have been dead for so long by the time that
The fucked up thing? That didn't calm me though, because I just stayed up at 3 a.m. being like, well, then humanity is gonna end in billions of years? I don't love that.
Yeah, exactly, right? No, like there was nothing they could say that really made it better. Like
It just became more existential.
yeah, exactly. Like it you didn't solve the problem. You just made it bigger and farther away, meaning it looks exactly the same size but different, if that makes any sense.
You just made me weirder.
Yeah.
You made me more introspective and like strange.
Right. It's the difference between seeing a 5-foot tall man from 5 feet away versus a 50-foot tall man from like 500 feet away. In perspective, they look exactly the same, but they're different.
Goddamn right they are.
And one of them is frankly more terrifying.
Hate 5 foot tall people.
That's true. God. Ugh.
Okay, so
we've got the central questions answered. We know what the signal is. We know what happened to the actual ship, and this will help us like input like different clues and stuff into like various areas. How we're gonna lay down clues for a collapsing galactic nucleus in the warden's office. I'm not totally sure, but who knows?
Hey, he's also an introspective guy.
He's an amateur astronomer, and he's been charting the health of this quasar his whole life. Okay, so we have our general overview. We have our areas. Is there anything else that needs to go in the general overview? I feel like are there any like nascent threats that players might encounter in all of these areas that we would want to nail down?
I think collapses, because the ship is unstable. It isn't, and like tied to that, like depressurization. Like, I know we're open air in this early room, but like we're probably going to be in not open air places, and depressurization, even if you're dead, I mean, that'll fuck you up because you'll get thrown, you'll just get tossed around, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Probably fire.
Yeah, I can definitely see fire hazards. Let me see. I just need to Google what happens when a quasar collapses.
Oh, it's a black hole, right? Turns
What
into a
happens-
black hole.
What happens when two quasars collide?
This is what it's like. That's Power Man 5000.
Yeah, this is what it's like.
It's a good song.
Are you ready to go?
Ready to
I'm
go.
ready to go.
I'm ready to
Oh
go.
god. Tony
Ready
Hawk's
to
Pro
go.
Skater.
We can call this episode Power Man 5000.
Gonna change that name right now.
Hey, your face is just a. Oh wait, are you?
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
What about my face?
Supermassive black hole sun, won't you come and wash away the pain, black hole sun.
Definitely.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
I can't hear you at all.
Okay, that's weird because it's showing.
You got sound coming in?
Yeah, I do.
Weird.
I got sound coming in. I got sound coming in. Discord's
Strange.
recognizing it.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, sorry about that, folks. We'll be right with you. Those Bluetooth headphones, my man. Those
Fucking,
are.
no, it's Discord being strange.
Can you hear me? I'm gonna take that as a no.
Oh, there you are.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Hey, why would you start singing Supermassive Black Hole by Muse and then immediately go into Black Hole Sun? That was not okay. That was not okay.
Oh, I mean, I don't care about Muse, so I actually wasn't singing that. I just
You were literally.
if I was,
Yeah. It was
that was an accident because I don't know the song.
It was literally. It was the exact cadence, and you went seamlessly from one to the other. It was like Supermassive Black Hole Sun.
I don't know.
Incredible. Truly incredible.
I didn't even know I was singing it.
Okay.
So let's take a peek at
Oh no, go ahead.
I was gonna say let's take a peek at cat sheets
Yeah,
and start
sure.
building them.
So you mentioned doing a cat sheet for the entire ship. Is that a thing?
We just did that. Yeah, I usually do an overall just to like, yeah.
All right.
It's pretty much what we just did.
Just threats and areas.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair. All right, cool. Well then let's. So for cat sheets, I hope everyone will forgive me. I don't know if I can pull up a cat sheet and be able to form fill it right this
You
second.
could. Oh, you don't. Yeah, you don't have to form fill as long as you got it to look at and can.
Yeah.
Are you ready to go? Hey, Taylor.
Yep.
I gotta take a piss.
Unbelievable.
I know. I'm sorry.
All right.
I had too much banana. I had too much banana.
All right. Tell you what, folks. We're gonna take a quick 5-minute break, and then we will be right back to keep filling out the rest of this adventure. See you in a minute.
I apologize.
He doesn't.
All right. can't believe I was singing a Muse song. Yeah, I'm not familiar. It's very surprising that I was able to do that. On Twitch, that's what I was looking for. Hold on. Did you feel old? Like Linkin Park being on classic rock station or something? Being like, that's not true. I listened to this when I was 13. I don't think that this is classic rock. I never listened to Linkin Park. Yeah, I was. I was exclusively listening to bad music at the time. I was a little busy with NoFX's 45 or 46 songs that weren't good enough to go on our other records. I was literally, it was my favorite NoFX record. I'm like, my favorite NoFX record was the B-Sides record. Hold on. Hey, Taylor. Our audio's going through the stream. For real, dog. I don't know, I can hear it. Or you can hear me at least. You've been dealing with what so long? Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Oh. On the wings of holly. I'm trying to give you things because I don't know if you're actually coming in. It might just be me. So I was trying to make sure you can hear it when you come back. So I'm just like singing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I'm bringing us back on.
Okay.
So, folks, for those of you who were on and watching, which it looks like. Oh, we actually did get one person is now watching the stream. now that we took a break. I hope that you enjoyed my rendition of Power Man 5000 while Corey was gone in the bathroom. We did not know our mics were on, so that's fun.
Yeah.
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 Okay. This thing is still messing around with me. All right, whatever. Point being, we are back. So let's go ahead and we will.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do this.
Start fill this thing out.
Okay, territory. What are we starting
And
with?
we are back. So let's go ahead.
Where the players start?
Yeah. Hang on one sec. Okay, there we go. So yeah, we start with general population cells.
Yeah.
Purpose of this is waking up. This is where the adventure starts.
Wake me up. Sorry.
This stream was brought to you by, now that's what I call Music 12.
We're gonna get demonetized. We're gonna demonetized.
Yeah. For our pitch perfect renditions of 2000 alt songs.
So purpose is, I mean, like this is the adventure like beginning. The purpose is adventure conceit, I guess. Like it is to start the adventure.
Yes. Okay, cool. The territory is actually just general population cell, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Right. Entities. So
let's actually start with let's go down to threats real quick, because I think like we can start with these a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Or maybe description. Let's start with description. Open air prison cell. You begin in a locked cell, right?
Yeah.
You know how to make things sound pretty.
That's what
right?
I say. So, like, let me ask you for like a tonal note here. Do you think that we should? I know that when I give narrations, I actually don't like to have prepared text. I'll usually just have like notes for different sensory things, like what do you see, what do you hear, what do you taste, what do you touch, whatever. Do you think that's a good way for us to structure these, or would you rather have like a block of text to read?
Here's the thing. I think that we should consider blocked text for the future if we're going to publish something.
Yeah.
But I think for our purposes, this is to make a working, functioning adventure that we're going to bring to cons. So let's just do, because I do the same thing you do here with these. I give sensory descriptions and keywords.
Cool.
But we know, like, right away you begin in a locked cell, and I think that that's important because one of our threats is going to be locked, sealed cell.
Yeah. Okay. Locked cells. I imagine like mesh floors and walls.
Sure.
With hints.
Mesh or great. Or great.
Great. It wouldn't be.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yeah. So graded floors and walls, hints of deep space behind them.
Corpses.
Yep. Lots of corpses.
Malfunctioning. Oh, maybe that's. Hey, you know why there aren't guard quarters and shit? Automated, baby.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
It's like the warden's like the lighthouse keeper on a lighthouse of just like it's just him.
This ship is terrifying.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So malfunctioning guard droids.
Or consoles. I mean, like guard droids and consoles. Probably a good one. We can do both, probably.
Okay. So that's what you see. What do you hear?
Like reclaiming, like the gurgling of reclaiming, like broken or busted or clogged reclaiming systems, right? Because in space, conceivably, you'd have to reclaim all kinds of waste and shit to reprocess into water and food and things like that.
Yeah.
So I like the idea that that's like gurgling and clogged. We could also
that.
use for threats.
I'm also gonna add, like, I imagine like a very deep, low frequency hum, and I don't know if it's the engines of the ship. I don't know if it's some kind of malfunctioning system on the ship.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's something where it's something that like borders sound and touch, where you hear it so loudly you almost feel it.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we have the reactor as aroma. I think that like that's a neat note that like the closer you get to the reactor, the louder that hum gets.
Yeah.
Which is again something we'll probably write into like the actual adventure we'd put out.
Yeah.
But it's a neat note for us. My goal here is like if we play this with enough people that we're so familiar with this thing, we can bust out this adventure any old time.
Yeah. No, I agree. Okay, do we want... So this is actually something that I'm interested in getting your thoughts on. I have, in the instances where I've run these playtests, I have done a lot of narration where I talk about, like, your introduction to certain senses, in particular, like, taste and smell. Do you think that's something we should include here? Like, my bias tells me no, it's not. I feel like we should. But I don't know if it actually is important for the purposes of the story.
I think for the purposes of these like for using this adventure for how we're running it, it's probably not important because you and I could, like, you will probably do that because it is pertinent to how you like to tell these stories, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
And I'm right now I'm trying to walk back every time I'm thinking like, oh, we should include like this is when you should pull a Dexploration card kind of shit. Because we shouldn't be focused on that stuff right now. We should just be doing like keywords and then like you and I can start running this. Like you'll run it next week or I will, and then the following week, you know, the other way.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel you. So that means that, hey, under entities we have guard droids.
Yeah, entities, guard droids. I feel like most of these guard droids are what's the word I'm looking for? Like busted up, derelict, whatever.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, I think derelict guard droids is probably a fine thing to put in for an entity. Here's a sound we can put in the description that I kind of like. Skittering. Maybe there's some kind of like we have like reclamation systems. Maybe there is some sort of vermin that has come on board, and we don't really need to define what that vermin is. So much as you can hear skittering, and maybe under entity we can put skittering creature.
Skittering creature and hyphen Dexploration.
No, I don't think we should even do that.
No?
Yeah, I'm trying to pull back from the urge to write Dexploration in because this is just for you and I to run. We don't have to define those things. I think when we will identify those moments are during play, when we'll be like, okay, this is like when we should be like doing that kind of shit.
Okay.
I'm actively trying to make myself not do that because I've tried to do it like 3, 4 fucking times already.
Gotcha. All right, no, that's fine. Okay, so info and data. I feel like this is actually a place where there's a lot, right?
Yeah.
For one, something terrible has happened here. This is not the state the ship is supposed to be in. The droids are not supposed to be broken. So I'm just gonna sum that up with just something is wrong here.
Sure. How about prisoner work schedule would probably be on there. Cell allotment would probably be on there. Like food and ration distribution. Like there you could do like neat things like, okay, why is this guy like this cell getting more food or not, you know? Like now you know that there's some underhanded shit going on in this prison, whether it is from
That's a really
higher
good
up.
idea. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe do we have like no, we have role data already. Data. Visitor logs, so we could see how many times the warden has come in while the prison was like active. If he's the only other person on the ship, is he coming in a lot, or is he like making himself?
Yeah.
Go on.
On the same note, like a passenger manifest and journey log would make some sense. Or like
would that be here, or would that be
disciplinary log?
Yeah, I think that one makes the most sense because I think like passenger manifest we might find on the bridge, and like visitor log we might find in like warden's journal or something, which will be a cool one to have in the warden's office, I think.
Let me actually just put that down here.
Those just came out of the dryer.
In there or not.
Yeah. Threats. System shorting. Explosive shorting on systems. Like if we have these consoles there in disrepair, maybe. Also like prisoner weapons or things like that, like weapon, or maybe not like weapons cache, not like a booby trap, or maybe it is a booby trap. Yeah, like booby traps, like in the cells, like they're keeping their gear like safe from other prisoners, like making like little jury-rigged traps and shit. I think that kind of makes a lot of sense, right?
Okay, I could see that. By the same note, that would also lead us to the gear they're trying to protect being something you can get from here. Now, this is another important question. How specific do we want to be about that gear? Do we want to pre-make stuff? Do we want to have tags associated? What kind of gear will these prisoners have?
Yeah, so I think like a small, maybe not a repair, like a small toolkit or a multi-tool would be a cool one.
Okay.
I don't know. Do you want to come up with tags for these? I know. So this is something we can talk about the differences with, like, because I've really latched on to the system where like I feel like I can come up with tags for things like on the fly very, very quickly.
You're very good at that. I am not. I'm exceptionally bad at tags.
Well, then, in that case, whoa, Jesus Christ! In that case, since this is for you and I, then it seems like it is a niche to fill for you that we should probably have some tags incorporated.
Yeah, totally.
So I think this is hardware for sure.
Okay. I
think the tag simple makes a lot of sense. It's not like an electronic device.
Okay.
So it's got limited use cases.
I was
How about rusted?
Yeah, okay, rusted. I was going to say breakable, but that's basically the same. Okay. I think 3 is good, unless you've got another.
No, that's fine.
Cool. Anything else they might be able to find?
Sure. Let's see here.
I don't watch a lot of prison dramas. I don't know what prisoners have. You find a cell phone that somebody smuggled in.
Oh, not a bad idea, actually. A communication device, or a modified communication device, and we could do that like electronic scan. You could put hacking on there.
Okay.
And then limited charge.
Okay, like that. All right, and I think 2 is good.
You don't want to put that on?
I mean, we can put the rule of 3s. You know, I mean, we can always go harder.
Well, yeah. Let's hop around a little bit. Let's see if there's Actually, we got like a lot of stuff on here.
No, we really do. I mean, this is a well carved out area. Yeah, for any, also just as a note, for like GMs who are looking for ways to simplify your notes, I highly recommend doing what I'm doing here. This is basically, whenever I make something now, this is pretty much how I do it both for God and a Corpse. It's also how I do it in like my personal games as well, if I'm preparing an area. It usually looks something like this.
It's funny how pertinent this. I don't know. This is the coolest thing I think we've made. Honestly,
yeah. Like, especially as a system agnostic tool, like you can take this stuff and put it just about in anything, and it really tends to work well.
Yeah, you know what? I think you're right. I think this is plenty.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So do you want to do bridge, warden's office, ship exterior, or reactor?
I don't know. What are you interested in?
Well, we started at the beginning. Let's go to the end. Let's talk about the bridge. So
wake me up inside.
Yeah, wake me up inside. In the end, so bridge purpose is
to discover it.
That's the
discover
end
the signal.
Yeah, it's the end of the adventure. Discover the signal.
Yeah.
And more to the point, escape the ship, right? The signal, once translated, leads you to the escape pods, and that's the end of the adventure, right? Okay.
Wake me up. Why am I fucking Evanescence?
What is her name? Katie Lee? Amy Lee? She speaks to people in various ways. This is
Amy Lee speaks to us all in mysterious ways.
Exactly.
Do you mean God? I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I always mix those two up. What?
You do?
Which one's Christianity? God! I always mix up Christianity and Evanescence. Cool. Okay, cool. Oh man. I like the idea. Did you ever watch Doctor Who?
Yeah. Well, what? I mean, that's a gigantic question. What specifically in Doctor Who are you talking about?
Did you ever see the library episode?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know how when River Song gets eaten and they think that she's still alive and it's her voice trapped in that system until, like, just trapped in there over and over, like still a semi-form of consciousness?
Yeah.
I think that, like, the entity collapsed over the over the SOS signal is that, like, he is like a man stuck in the transponder that is slowly dying.
Oof. Okay, so it's like a half sentient consciousness.
Half sentient captain's consciousness.
Yeah. Captain's consciousness. Trapped in an SOS signal. Wow. Way to fucking bring the mood down, Corey. That's the most depressing shit I've ever heard in my life.
My games aren't depressing.
I mean, I'm no one to judge. Okay, so are there any other entities? I kind of like the idea that there's some kind of a helper bot, like an assistant bot. On
Oh, cool! Yeah, helper from the Venture Brothers.
Yeah, literally helper from the Venture Brothers.
Jesus, Hank, where do you get this stuff? I never see you read. I know, right? It's like he channels dead crazy people.
Let the kid go, Monarch. He's really hurt. So good.
Fucking love the Venture Brothers.
All right, so
description. I think this place is like kind of clean. If there's a helper bot in here,
yeah,
like I think that in stunning contrast to the rest of this vessel, this is like prim and proper and like bright.
Yeah. Some systems are now working and have been recently repaired.
Local systems uncompromised. Like this is yeah.
And a large bay window looks out into space. Okay. And for sound.
Captain's. Oh, sound. The radar pings. You're hearing like the sound of that.
Yeah. Quiet mechanical whirring of helper bot gears.
Yep. Oh, you're hearing like the oxygen systems, like you're hearing the carbon dioxide scrubbers like in full effect, which I think's like kind of funny because the helper bot doesn't need to it at all.
But they still prioritized it nonetheless.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. God, this is sad. Yeah, I think those are good.
On to info and data, like something that like might be neat, give players like something they might want to hunt down in the future. Captain's letter to their wife, or like that feels like very nautical and on theme for a like vessel, right?
Yeah. No, 1000%.
And Dracula. Wait, I'm sorry. Dragula, the car from the monster.
Dr. Acula.
Dr. Acula.
Okay, so let's talk. Well, actually, info data. Also, the SOS signal itself.
Yeah.
And I'm actually going to say, because it's pertinent to the this story in particular, I'm actually going to suggest we write out whatever's on that signal. Just because sometimes it's nice to have pre-written stuff.
Sure. Let's put that on the docket, but let's
oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, let's do this other stuff first.
Okay. So threats in this area. That bay window, explosive decompression. The window is cracked.
Sure.
For sure.
Yeah. I think that this machine is probably unstable. So if you guys come through, there's a possibility that it's like, oh, so no other living thing ever exists. In that case, self-destruct sequence, which I think would be a fun threat.
So, like, wait, the idea is that HelperBot would initiate it?
Could. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's dependent on how you handle him. But even without him, I think a self-destruct sequence is a fun way and like an active way to get people like into those pods.
It's setting a timer, right? I mean, that's
yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's see. So we've got systems that are kind of working. Got a big bay window that we've already done. We've got HelperBot, which we've already done.
Maybe what is it? Would that be like the idea that like I don't know if would this be atmospheric control gone wrong? Like, so he's kept the atmosphere in this room going, and because of that, like, and the rest of the ship isn't heated, like all this excess energy is built up. Maybe it's like very hot in here, and to the point where it's like your body's going to start breaking down, or like systems are going to start popping just because of the heat that the bot doesn't even realize is going off.
I like that. I'm actually going to add something to the sensory descriptions for touch. As though temperature has been set very high by something that can't feel it.
God.
Evanescence.
I posit that there is a god, they just can't feel.
Okay, let's see here. Stream heat, breaking down body. Okay.
A DVD copy of Breaking Bad.
I am the danger. Okay, so as far as gear, what can be found up here?
Well, I think first and foremost we have the escape pods. And I think that those are transport, one use, and I think comfortable. Oh, durable. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's see here. So we have escape pods. What else is like cool that would be up here? Obviously, we mentioned like the passenger manifest, captain's letter to the wife. These are all like physical items, but as far as gear that you can actually use,
sure. I think that a comm array or a navigational beacon of some kind.
A like navigational beacon.
Okay.
Because that will be definitely useful in the pod, which is basically the thing about giving gear at this stage is like,
right.
Unless you're introducing like a boss that somebody needs to fight, gear is kind of irrelevant.
Sure.
So
I think as a tag, astrogation. And I think as a tag, antiquated. This is old information, right? Like this hasn't been updated.
Okay. I will admit,
and I think that. Go on.
I have no idea what astrogation means. Is there a simpler, more direct tag?
It's just navigation in stars. It's common. Okay. It's parlance. Yeah.
cool. And what were you going to say?
And like, I think on your point, I think the important thing about these gear beats is that we like leave them. They are telling the story that there is a story to follow this, right?
Yeah.
Like the gear that you're getting at this level says you're not done.
Yeah. So this is what it's like. Oh, God.
Well, you should play that song live,
I should.
please.
Nobody would think that was weird.
Chat GPT, hold on, gotta check something real quick.
What's up?
ChatGPT, what is this? I don't like their new starting screen on ChatGPT. I've been using Claude so much I haven't even noticed it.
Claude kicks ass.
Give me an acoustic guitar. Can you?
What are you about to do?
Legit. Cool. I got the chord progressions for you. It's fine. ChatGPT, you got me covered.
For when worlds collide.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
Don't worry. Don't worry. I got
Jesus
you.
Christ. That is. Ugh. So much, but honestly, probably better than Ultimate Guitar.
That's what I was thinking.
God, I hate that site with such a passion. It would be so
Let's
nice.
do your reactor.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so...
I had an idea for the reactor.
Yeah, go for it.
What if that skittering creature, like, the nest is down there?
Ooh.
And, like, yeah, like they're feeding off the radiation or something.
Okay, yeah. So... Would it be under threats or entities, or I guess both?
Both, probably.
Yeah, okay, so nesting, skittering creature. I kind of love the idea that it, I wonder if that's the case. If it was attracted to the heat of the reactor, it would probably also be attracted to the heat of the bridge, right?
But yeah, I think the bridge is like locked down. It couldn't get into it.
I guess so. Yeah. I don't know. I'm thinking of like a boss fight kind of thing, which that doesn't need to necessarily be the case. Okay, cool. So, what's the purpose of the reactor? Why does anybody need to go down there?
To repower the ship. The ship is on like life support levels of power right now, which makes it difficult to access rooms, makes it difficult to access panels and shit like that.
Yeah.
To use like the map systems, whatever. I think that the purpose of this is to make navigation through the ship easier.
Yeah. I am going to say that a big reason why the reactor has not, why it's offline is because as this ship lost so many pieces of itself in the initial kind of shockwave, I think it took a giant section out of the hull for the reactor.
Yeah.
So I think that this is a place where there is like giant open areas of just dead space in between like various platforms leading
Okay.
to the engines themselves. So
It's cool. That's a cool threat. Like platforming, basically.
yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. So, broken hull, open space.
Maybe like radiation pockets. Like these things somehow harness radiation and
like
use
that.
it, and maybe like yeah.
Radiation pockets. Okay, cool. Let's see here. I also love the idea that the engine is just not stabilized, so even once you get it running, it starts powering up like too fast, too hard, too fast. There's like some kind of a well, maybe that's not necessarily a threat. Maybe it is. I don't know. Like some kind of a regulator, like a regulator capacitor that just isn't.
Yeah.
And
I think that like this brings us to info and data, like the maintenance records of this thing, like detailed maintenance records from the captain, just detailing like what the fuck is going wrong, or maybe there were 3 people on this vessel: the general maintenance, captain, and the warden, right? And then we can have like little interplay between their journals about each other. So maintenance record and like with what's it called? Like when you do like red line notes on something, like writing in the margins. Like if this is an official ledger, and this guy's like scrawling in the margins too.
Yeah. I have no idea what the official word for that is.
I don't either.
Either way.
Yeah.
So either way, we have maintenance records. Would definitely go here. It would probably be useful data that the skittering creature is attracted to heat, right?
Oh yeah. Or radiation in general. Yeah, I think it's like not afraid of like the open space because that doesn't shield from radiation. The reactor puts off radiation. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Cool. All right, so I think we just need really descriptions and gears.
Yeah.
So sight, sound we actually have kind of already written. So very loud now, low frequency, humming that deadens other sounds.
Nesting creatures, that's a sound you can hear.
Chirping of nesting creatures. And as far as sight,
glowing from the reactor.
Yeah. Well, I feel like the first thing, like, so when you open the door to this place, the first thing you're going to notice is the giant opening in the hull.
Yeah.
So, broken
sheared hull.
Yeah. Okay, so torn hull. Next to decompressed room. Large areas of open space between entrance reactor. Small nests located within reactor.
Hey, let's say this. Let's not even say small. Let's just say organic nests of some kind.
Yeah, all right.
Let's play it. That way we can see how the players define it.
Yeah, that works. Okay.
I like the idea that the reactor's glowing. I like this room glowing.
Okay. Within glowing reactor. Okay.
As far as feeling goes, like you're moving from hot to cold spaces in one room, which is probably very confusing. Because you have like the open space, vacuum is cold, but also you have these pockets of radiation.
I like that. Okay. And finally for gear. So I definitely see like maintenance tools.
I got one.
Yep.
I got one and tag. Fuel cell.
Ooh. That. Okay.
And it is like high power, limited use, and hot. I think this thing's fucking hot. Tough to carry around because of it, right?
Absolutely. Okay, cool. So
what about like raid? What's raid called? Something to get rid of creatures.
Like a pest spray?
Yeah, I think that's like a neat indication that these things were around before things popped off.
Okay.
Obviously, things have gone to hell, but like,
sure.
pest repellent.
Yeah, repellent. I think would be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pressurized. Organic, pressurized deterrent, and probably toxic, which is it can be good or bad depending on the situation.
No, I think that's perfect. All right, cool. We got another one down, man. 2 more to go. Every time we do a new area, we get to say another line of When Worlds Collide by Powerman 5000. All right, do you want to do Warden's Office or Ship Exterior next? I'm not going to lie, the more we flesh this out, the less I really care about the Warden's Office. I would love to do Ship Exterior, but I'm starting to wonder if we even need Warden's Office.
I think it's a neat place for us to put in a lot of like information.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
Can you do? Sorry, I'm having ChatGPT rewrite When Worlds Collide to be about spaghetti.
Oh, cool. Coming up with anything good?
Yeah, here, I'll throw it into chat. Maybe you can. I'm not good at singing.
Yeah, go for it.
I'll put it in our chat, into the Twitch chat.
Yeah.
So everyone can see my good work. Oh man, it cut it off.
Well, this is unfortunate.
Here.
There we go. Okay. What the fuck?
It's bad, right? It didn't do a good job.
Okay, wait. When spaghetti strands collide, Parmesan on every side. That's not even like the right cadence.
This is the wrong cadence, ChatGPT.
Jesus, ChatGPT. This is why no one respects you.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean that.
I did. I'm a writer. I'm so scared of you. Please be nice to me.
Yeah.
You're not going to take my job today, but like in 5 years, I'm not going to have a fucking job.
With any luck, nobody will, though.
Okay. Not holding my breath on that one, but who knows? Maybe we can hope. Let's see here. So, yeah, let's do the warden's office if that's the case. So, what's the purpose of the warden's office? Why do we need to be there?
To contextualize. I was going to say to contextualize the transport ship in general, which probably is a good purpose for it, but it's probably also a good way to unlock other rooms, right? Like, the warden's office is the key to other rooms.
Yeah.
Who can get in everywhere? The warden.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Okay. Definitely like the idea that the corpse of the warden is in here.
Sure, yeah.
I also feel like this is not a super big area.
I don't either.
Yeah. A relatively small office decorated with various knickknacks. I think several of which have actually been confiscated from various prisoners.
Sure. I think a neat one would be like a looted weapons cache, because that tells the story that shit broke and like it was not contained here, right? Like prisoners got out probably.
Okay. So it's currently what you're getting at is it's currently empty, basically meaning the contents had to be used at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I think it's like wood in here, right? Like I think the rest of the ship is like plastisteel and steel gratings and things like that. But like the warden's office is homey. It's like it's mahogany.
Yeah.
He's got many leather-bound books, and his warden's office smells like rich mahogany.
Okay. Corpse of the Warden, I like the idea that it is slumped over its desk. I think I think the warden's been murdered based on our talk here. How? Do they have a knife sticking out of them? Is there maybe they're like the bubble on their EVA suit has been like broken open? Although I see this not as being a depressurized room.
I don't see it as depressurized. I don't know if maybe we need to define it so much as like this would be somewhere where I would like me as a GM would probably like pull a Dexploration card on the warden's body. There's something about the warden's body that, and again, I don't think we should define that here, but like I feel like the warden's body dead by unnatural means is all we probably need to do. And then after we play this a couple times, we can be like, well, we can define this or not define it depending on how it played, right?
Yeah. All right, cool.
This is a weird situation, obviously, because like I've never designed a con game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll be playtesting this a bunch, so we'll get the chance.
Yeah. Yeah.
For sound, absolutely silent. I think that
I like that.
I think that this room is like sealed off in more ways than one.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that it's been like soundproofed.
It's like hermetically sealed.
Exactly.
And like,
yeah. Like
yeah.
I think this was designed as like a potential panic room if the worst should happen.
Totally.
Yeah.
And the worst did happen.
And the worst did very much happen, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, threats in the warden's office.
Autonomous security system.
Yeah. On the same note, automated lockdown of the room.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, which, like, I could definitely see something where maybe that is itself an escape pod of sorts, but if you don't know how to actually use it, then it's really just a tomb that's going to jettison out of this ship.
Sure.
So maybe even automated lockdown and expulsion of...
maybe like on that, like inverted expulsion system, like the rocketry got all fucked up underneath, and like it's firing off when you get in, and like that's not good.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Dope. Cool. And then finally, gear. Definitely got to be a weapon somewhere hidden in this that people didn't get to, right?
I think so. Like we don't inherently have weapons in the game, and I don't think we should define them here. I think like as a player, you can turn anything into a weapon,
sure,
of some kind to accomplish something. But like I am trying to stay away from like
that's fair
defining weapons.
Okay, definitely alcohol. I think that there's definitely like in the in the bottom drawer or whatever like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Intoxicant, flammable, probably valuable. Yeah, should you encounter a living creature, it'd probably be valuable to them.
Yeah, no, that probably makes sense. So we've, of course, got the passenger manifest and the disciplinary log that we mentioned before. I don't think those are, like, gear in this sense.
No. We can probably put those under... Oh, we have them under info and data.
Yeah.
Warden's journal probably should go underneath info and data, too. I just think it would be neat to, like, have that.
Yeah, for sure.
Master pass key can be a piece of gear.
Yes.
Yeah. And here's a fun thing about it. It's biometrically locked. So however you want to get by using that thing, sure.
I honestly think that alone is the only tag that really needs. I don't feel like I need to put anything else on them for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, incredible. Wow, that's a death trap. I love that. Okay, cool. And then finally, ship exterior.
Yeah. Purpose to traveling the ship with
right?
alternate pathway. Yeah.
Yeah. Alternate pathway around the ship. Okay, cool. So for sound, I know we've still got that low frequency hum. Because you're outside the ship, you're going to probably hear the reactor more than you normally would.
Sputtering and broken rocketry you're hearing, like things firing off but then stopping, like you're hearing the grating of, because now you're outside the ship, like you can, it's probably more of a vibration than a sound, honestly, because you are in space. But you are hearing or feeling, actually this is probably better for feeling, but you're feeling like the grating of pieces of the ship moving against itself as the ship like floats through space, right? Like you have these sections hanging off and you just hear the
All right, and as far as sight, it's a ton of wreckage for sure. Like, it's not clean out here. You're spacewalking effectively, but like you're spacewalking through trash.
Yeah, I think this is also a beautiful section of space. Like, you were seeing like nebula and like gas clouds in space, like bright and phosphorus.
Yeah. Clouds.
And I think it's expansive. Like, the ship looks big from the outside.
Yet another Doctor Who callback. Okay, yeah, I think all of that's perfect.
It's bigger on the outside. Okay.
Yeah. boy, I hope so.
It's like that Mitch Hedberg joke where it's like, this is a picture of me when I was younger. Every picture is a picture of you when you were younger. This is a picture of me when I was older. Holy shit, let me see that camera.
The hell did you get that camera? God, R.I.P.
You're a real one, Mitch.
I haven't had sex for 2 weeks, because that would be too long.
Too long. Have you ever tried PCP or sugar? So good?
So good. Incredible.
Info
yeah.
and
info data.
Info and data. I think that there are like relay stacks. Like, so when you are on the exterior of the ship, you communicate because you're like cut off from everything by going to these relay stacks. So they're like communication center hubs. I just think it's a neat idea. I don't think ships wouldn't work like that, but
I mean, that's fine. So basically it's like interstation communication.
How about this? They're diagnostic stacks.
See,
so
that was what I was thinking. It was like they take environmental data.
Yeah, sure, from like that section of the ship, like, and you access them from the outside.
Yeah, I like that. Cool. I don't feel like this is a super info data heavy thing. So I don't know. I'm cool with leaving that as just one, unless you've got more.
Yeah, let's come up with. I think that there is something outside of, like, something large looming outside the ship. I don't know, like just an entity of some kind.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that like this would be a good opportunity to use exploration to have players define something big, and like maybe it becomes a threat. I just saw your dog's butt; it was very cute. She looks like she's up to no good.
Yeah, that's pretty much all she's ever up to. That's the easiest bet you've ever made in your whole life.
She's doing stuff though. She's just out there doing stuff.
What? Where?
She's in the other room.
Oh, she left. Okay, that's fine.
Oh.
That's the most,
I didn't want you here anyway.
Independent little dog. I'm so not used to that. Like, Yoda will not leave me alone. He will not leave my side ever for any reason. Benny doesn't give a fuck. She will, like, it's like 2 a.m. and she'll just like pitter patter off the bed, just go chill out, like in the living room, whatever.
She's doing stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And then, like, when you go and check on her, she looks at you like, "What the fuck? What do you want?" Like,
she's got a rich in her life.
Yeah, she has hobbies.
Which actually, I do want to touch on something, Taylor. I've been thinking a lot about like if you run a space campaign next. I'm thinking like if I make a character, I want to make them. Like, the idea of a comedy campaign is looming in my head.
Yeah.
I like the idea that they're like an auditor of some kind, like an accountant of some kind, someone who doesn't belong in this setting. but I also like the idea that they have a very rich inner life. This person is. They have hobbies. I think they have an adult stepchild that they are working on their relationship with.
Love it.
That's all. It's been popping in my head a lot.
One of my new favorite like character tropes is like people who like I've come to love when players go the ass opposite direction from like the like troubled orphan, and they're like, yeah, no, my family has like I have like 12 brothers and sisters. Like here are all their names. They love me. I love all of them. Like we're very happy. I see them every year for Thanksgiving. Like I've got unique inside jokes for every single one of them. They mean the absolute world to me.
Yeah, see, this is like, I think that it was a difficult thing at first, but they've now built some bonds and like grown close.
We lost our mom when I was about 12, and that really brought the family together. Like we all kind of leaned on each other for support, you know.
Yeah.
I watched my dad really grow as a person after like that whole thing happened, and like he's remarried now, and you know Linda's great. She's not mom. She doesn't try to be mom, but you know like
she's Linda. Really, she's something else.
Yeah, she makes dad really happy, and like.
It's the only thing I can think of is just like my character, rich in her life.
It's like my favorite. That's like my favorite new character. Like I forget who it was. There was somebody who made a character that had like they were like a teenager, like 20-year-old or whatever, but like they made their character with like very supportive parents who were like very supportive of their adventuring, and ever since then I've been like, fuck, this is like the best character trope in TTRPG. Like I want this for everything. So yeah, make your accountant. I can't wait. Make me Gary Gergich in space. Like totally inept at adventuring, but they're such a sweet guy.
I'm good at other things.
Fight the space alien? No. Do you need an Excel sheet made?
I can do that. And I will. This is my pro rate.
Yeah. Tell you right now, I'll tell you right now, the real threat to this company, the month-over-month growth that you are losing on all of these space alien fights.
The ROI is just out of control.
Do you know cargo is down 20% since last quarter? That's insane, Jerry.
This is the character I'm playing next time. I am prioritizing no combat skills, no adventuring skills.
Beautiful. Oh man, yeah. I feel like after we get through L5R, we're all gonna need to just like breathe a little bit. I'm very much looking forward to whatever weird space thing I end up doing. All right, we're 2 bullet points from being done here.
Sure.
What's the
threat?
The threat. Okay, so potentially there's the large looming creature. There's also just you're on the exterior of the ship, spacewalking, right?
Yeah.
That is the central threat out here.
Spacewalking. So
there's rogue
mini.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, fast move. Oh, yeah. I think we're going to say the same thing, like mini asteroid, like micro asteroids, whatever.
Like micro asteroids, or even just fast moving debris of any kind. So I think that's fine. There are like violent. You mentioned vibrations from pieces of the ship rubbing together, like a violent version of that. Throwing players off the ship. Anything else?
Well, just sections disconnecting. I think that if you're walking on a ship that is like hanging on by a thread, you know, that part you're on.
Yeah.
Just get knocked loose, right?
You're like that. You're like that. That polar bear out on the ice drift. just
Take your own hardware. Take your own fucking box and hook it.
Incredible. I feel like when you think about that, that's kind of like the thing where Bender assembles himself.
And I was thinking the same thing.
How do we do that?
So good. Fucking incredible. Gear. I think like I don't know. Maybe you find mag boots out here.
I was gonna say either like mag boots or some kind of like a line that they would use to like, link themselves on and tether themselves to the ship.
Oh, let's find do tether. Ship based, meaning that like it is connected to the ship. Like you can't take it with you. I think that's it. Like I don't think it needs anything more than that. Like there is a tether here.
Well, I think if you can't take it with you, it wouldn't count as gear, right? These are things that would
That's a fair
particularly
point.
apply to load.
Yeah, that's a fair point, actually. So then let's do this instead of ship base. Let's do anchor point, meaning it needs to be anchored to something.
Yeah, I like
Multi-person would be a good one.
Okay.
And what like snappable, not fragile, but like worn. Let's do worn. The tether is worn.
Right. Cool. And then the mag boots.
I think that they are magnetized. It's fucking power. I think they need to be powered to work. And heavy.
I desperately want to know. Like, it's insane to me because as soon as you say them, I'm like, oh yeah, well, like obviously those would go. But like until I see it, I have no idea what to put on these things. Like,
I don't know. The tag system just works for me.
it just for some reason it just does not click with me.
It's funny. It's like the one thing I've latched onto from like PBTA games that like I heard and I was like, oh, that makes sense. And like traditionally, I'm not a huge fan of PBTA games, so like,
No, I get it.
Yeah.
Like, there's
Not that I hate them or anything.
No, well, I mean they have their. I don't know. We made the mistake of trying to use PBTA for not what PBTA is made for. Like that was the big thing. We tried to use PBTA for telling these long form stories, and then we realized like halfway through what we had planned that like, oh, we're gonna need to cut these both way short. Like we can't keep going with these as they are. So I don't know. I'd be interested in trying another PBTA with that in mind. Like I love what you've done with Dungeon World. Like I think that's been a really good experience.
But even that, like for me, PBTA games just end up feeling less like games. Like there isn't as much to sink your teeth into. And for me, that's just not as exciting mechanically. But like, where Dungeon World like diverges is like, there's just a lot more to Dungeon World than your traditional PBTA game. Not that like again, like I dig the storytelling aspects of it, and like I can get down with it for sure. I think it does a lot of smart design. Just you know. After a couple sessions, I'm like, all right.
Yeah. No, I totally.
I say that though, but I was fucking obsessed with Rumas.
Man, and I can't believe that in all honesty, because Ruma was incredibly light when it came to PBTA stuff. I don't know. I've got some ideas for how I might want to do progression if I'm gonna make mods to like. I'm still looking at Scum and Villainy. I don't know if I'm gonna do that or not.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah. Either way, for now, I think that this is a good stopping point. We have all these places mapped out. Um,
So let's talk about next week then.
Yeah.
I have my friend Kiana from work who said that she would do it.
Oh
She
yeah.
might have, yeah, she
Oh
might have
yeah.
some people to bring with her.
Okay.
I told you about her issues with her D&D campaign she was in, right? Like she
Oh.
like she lists off a bunch of issues they've been playing for like a year and a half. They're like level 4 or level 3.
Wow.
Like yeah, or like even longer than that. I was like, what? And I'm like, how long are you playing? They're like, she's like, we play weekly. I was like, that's fucking insane.
Yeah, that's crazy. I guess he's doing
and
milestone graduation.
yeah, they're doing
rounds.
milestone leveling, and they're using a module. But like, I don't know. I guess after I had like listed all of these issues with what she said, being like, no one's invested because no one was given like stakes to invest in the campaign, yada 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 yada.
Yeah.
She's like, fucking no joke. The next week, my GM messaged everyone and listed verbatim everything you said to me as like an issue with the campaign and wanting to soft start again with something else. I was like, that's fucking insane.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like people, honestly, that doesn't even sound like it's an issue with D&D necessarily. D&D has tons of issues, but that
Yeah.
just sounds like, I don't know.
Well,
Like-
part of it is it's hard to prep for. I think that's like the biggest issue with D&D. Like as a GM, it requires a lot more heavy lifting for like prepping a session than say like our game does.
Well, for sure with our game, yeah. No, I mean,
And D&D doesn't give you a ton of tool sets to use.
yeah, I mean the biggest thing with D&D is you really need to like actively work to balance encounters, or you're gonna either just get steamrolled yourself, or you're gonna TPK the party. I ran into that, like
Often with the same creature.
Yeah, exactly. I did, a pretty short run stint on D&D before moving on to like other systems, and like I was constantly in that position where like I never felt like my encounters were balanced. They always felt super one-sided one way or the other. So like, yeah.
And it got even harder the higher level you get, because the fucking challenge rating system fucking falls apart at higher levels.
I mean, the whole thing fell apart like way later on just due to like group reasons, but honestly, with the way that the mechanics and the story were going and where it kind of needed to go, it's probably for the best. Like I honestly, looking at it even now with like a lot more experience, I don't know where I would have gone. With that story, I don't know what I even could have done. Because you guys were getting up to what, like level 9, level 10 when we
something like that, yeah.
Like right at that point where D&D stops being fun. Yeah.
It just gets very hard to control. Like, not even control, just like, I don't know. It's a lot.
No, I agree.
On that topic though, Kiana, she said she'd play next week. Do you have some friends?
Yeah, so I am talking right now with my friend Dan. I had spoken with them a couple of weeks ago before they left town. And they had expressed some interest in trying it out. Him and his wife Jenna may be down to do it.
Okay, cool.
So I sent them something last night. I haven't heard back from them yet. But yeah, maybe we'll have a really big table. I don't know. That'll be wild.
Hey, four players will be. Well, and I think we need to test how this works with like more than 3 people.
No,
right?
I agree. I think that's a great opportunity. Like I think I'd be very interested to see how that happens.
So let's see. How are we going to run this? We're replacing Mystery with Drive.
Yeah.
Is that something we're doing for the playtest?
I'm gonna.
Because we'll have to tell people.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
you'll
yes.
have to modify your. Okay, so we'll go. Do we want to go 6 or 8 pips? What did we end up on? 6 felt too low, right?
6 felt too low, but it was also just the two of us doing it. I'm wondering if on a...
We could split the uprights and call it 7.
Yeah, alright. Let's do 7 pips.
And let's remove 2 energy from each body.
Okay, so that is 2 energy from each corpse. Alright.
Yeah, let's do that.
Just trying to think. Was there? Oh, and we're doing 3 pips per skill, right? Not 3 dice.
Yeah, 3
Okay.
3 pips.
Okay, cool. I've got those noted. And yeah, that being said, I just want to thank anybody who did sit by and watch. I know this wasn't a super action-packed stream, but hopefully you got a cool kind of behind-the-scenes view into how Corey and I make adventures, sort of how we structure these things. And if you're familiar with the game, this is, I mean, basically how you use the cat sheet to structure your own adventures. So just as a final sign-off, I'm Taylor, that's Corey, we're both halves of TGS Games. Every week we meet here on Twitch on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. and we make TTRPG games. We are no longer on any social media because fuck all that, but if you want to give us a follow here on Twitch, please do so. It helps us grow the channel a ton. You can also find us at tgsgames.com. You can also find God and a Corpse for free download on DriveThruRPG as a part of Pocket Quest 2023's annual game jam. Corey?
I love you.
Oh, okay. I thought you had something. Sorry. I didn't want to... My bad.
No, I was just going like...
Gotcha.
Like finger guns.
Yeah, I love you too. And we will see you all next week, hopefully with a big ass table, with a big
that'd be cool.
Yeah, the most playtesters we've ever had. So yeah, everybody take care, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, it's just the music. Oh no, I can hear me still. You're just gonna have to end the stream.